Hello, Joshua and Lindsay.
Hey,
Hello.
Oh, am I getting feedback?
I
Oh,
don't hear it.
okay. All right. Bars up for a second. Well, they're showing me the new tools. Let's see here. Let's see. Um, so the first thing I was going to ask, and I guess it's probably 6 o'clock right here. We'll probably get one. I think we get one or two more people that seem pretty interested. But Lindsay, I wanted to ask if you had a chance to look at kind of what I posted and if you had any initial thoughts on it to kind of just start off since you were here last time.
Yeah, so it was the right now it sounds like it's a two-header, potentially male-female leads about like a tribe that was attacked and they're seeking vengeance and survivors basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Just for clarification, like have we nailed down what kind of tribe and if this is like sci-fi at all, or are we going more like historical native? Like I think that kind of really helps me determine like how to visualize it, you know?
I think I'll speak for myself and Joshua can talk. I'd say I was thinking historical native, although that's perfectly valid that it doesn't have to be. But that was what I was thinking initially as well.
Yeah, same here was historical native. Before it was like the Europeans came over, so it's like pre 1492.
Cool. Because yeah, that came to mind for me too. And something else that came to mind is what maybe exploring making it a three header. And because something that's really important, at least from like my native friends, they tell me about this like two spirit or the third gender, which is I think a really unique perspective to have all three might be interesting. So that's just like the initial idea I wanted to throw out.
Only thing I'd say that is I'm not particularly familiar with that, so it would initially it wouldn't be easy for me to like per se try to conceive plot wise, but I think that's I think that you want for something like this you definitely want to try to be related to as much historical stuff as you can. So I mean I'd be open to it, but it just wouldn't be something I particularly know much about myself. Heard of it, but not in detail. Sort of.
And it could definitely be like a survivor that they find. It doesn't have to be like one of our two leads.
Oh sure, sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my initial thought. It
Okay.
sounds kind of good that we all thought like traditional native initially. So that's good.
Okay. Let's see, kind of drag this whole thing. Yeah, good. Okay. Um, I'm gonna move stuff around a little bit. Um, kind of some stuff kind of in different places here. So kind of where's the where's the top of the I guess it kind of goes up on infinite, but it kind of goes out. So let me so I'll just say this now I'll repeat it if more people come in. What I was, as I mentioned in the post, I think the general next step is to keep on kind of fleshing out protagonists and work on the kind of the arc we were thinking for the entire season, say series season. I think that we can imagine it as a single series or as a series, whatever it is. The point is to come up with what the whole arc is, and then brainstorm important events of that arc. And usually, when you see shows, you'll have episodes centering around those important moments, and will also hopefully help us crystallize what other characters there are besides the protagonist. Another other thing too is brainstorming more specifically the antagonist. Because that'll also help drive potential single episode ideas because getting the whole arc is the next overall is the next step, and then all these story bylines through it, and then after that it's picking a slice to try to break a single episode of that those entire bylines that would cut through whatever running stories are going through the entire season.
For sure. I'm just curious, is this an idea that either one of you have been like working on or just been brainstorming on, or is this something that you guys kind of came up with together for this?
It
Josh,
was kind of a story
yeah,
that I was gonna bring to because I thought when we were initially gonna do this there would be more people and I thought it was gonna be like we pitch an idea and then the group votes on which idea we wanted. So this was my idea that I thought we were going to pitch for.
Very cool. Yeah, I just like to hear where the ideas came from. And it's because like what I'm hoping to get out of this is just more writer's room experience and everything.
Sure.
Because to be honest with you, comedy is my jam. Not like I do drama and all that's good and everything, but comedy and dark comedy is my jam. So
Yeah.
just so you know, that's the voice that I come with.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think it's about just practicing some of the skills that he talks about in the class, and just kind of getting real experience. And I wanted in theory to just be something we totally came up with, but I was glad Joshua was willing to put that forward. And I think, this is my idea for this, is to run it for 6 or 7 sessions with this specific one, get to the point where one episode is broken, and even maybe to an outline point, depends on kind of how things go. And then probably look at in the new year, perhaps have other people, if they want to volunteer things to try to do this with, or or trying again to do a concept from scratch. But I think it might actually be more helpful if people are willing to, because I didn't necessarily think that people would even want to do that. So I was thinking, well, I'll say this, I was kind of thinking more so that maybe we would just do an exercise in the existing show. But when people started talking about it, I'm like, well, everybody's seen different shows, unless we go back and do a show that's like 30 years old, right?
Right.
Because if people were bringing up ones that I hadn't seen yet, and there's ones I've seen that they probably haven't seen yet, so that didn't really make much sense. So it probably is the most helpful to people if there's a person that has a show that they're working on that are willing to do this for. And this first one, I didn't realize, it's kind of Joshua suggested, or I wouldn't have, kind of posting it to the thing, because people probably won't want us to do that if it's kind of their concept that they've been working on. I'm doing that in part because Joshua suggested it. I'm like, okay, that's cool with me, but I wouldn't have done it if Joshua hadn't been like, hey, why don't we show people what we're doing so far? I'm like, okay, because I know, some people kind of want to hold their ideas kind of close to them, and so
I get that.
do
Yeah.
that unless the person, whoever it is open to that. So, but that might be what ends up kind of more so happening.
For sure. I mean, I definitely have ideas that I'd be happy to pitch as well too. I don't want to take away from what you guys have already established, and let's keep going with that route. But just for future ones, I'm more than happy to. And I get that people like to keep their ideas close, but like Michael also said, it doesn't matter who came up with the idea, who did it best.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
that's the like I have an inventory. I have hundreds of ideas of inventory over the past 20 years.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
None of which is finished, and that's the thing, is like I'm one of those people that I get a new idea and it makes me discard the last one, and I have a lot of projects you start and haven't finished, and so that's one of my big challenges in general. But this is but yeah, I agree. But again, it has to be people that's something they want to do. So anyway, so yeah, this is, as I said, this is going to run into November, but I kind of felt like December, everybody's going to have whatever going on, and even late November, I might have family in town by mid-November. And then also, what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, also I messed up and I scheduled this overlapping with the table read.
Oh, the table reads. Yeah.
I'm gonna not do that after this. I'm not gonna do that again, because I did it purely based on the submissions I got from people, most of whom didn't end up showing up anyway. But I did it based on that and not even looking at our general schedule. And the thing is, the first one I did, there was no table read that week. So it was
That's
fine.
right.
Only
Yeah.
the second one, they're like, oh, the table reads the same night. Dang, I didn't realize that. So let's see here. So let's see.
So do you want to switch it to a different day of the week then, just to avoid overlapping with them?
I kind of want to keep it to Tuesday right now, because next session will be fine. Let's see who we get this week and next week. If everybody that's comes this week and or next week is amenable to changing the day, just even for these set of sessions, I'm fine with it. Only day I can't do is Monday, but as far as work weeknights, but I didn't want to change it. I realized it's like last night, so I want to change this one, and the next week one of the overlap. So after that, maybe we'll switch it if everybody who's currently participating wants to do that. But I'm thinking this is the second session. I'm probably going like 6, and then that'll probably bring us to mid-November at that point, and then we'll take a break into the new year.
Okay, cool. And then how long do you guys usually meet? Because to be honest with you, I'm still working tonight. So but I have like an hour that I can do tonight for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is really, we did about an hour, 15 minutes last time. I set a 2-hour block
Okay.
initially, but it's really just about getting stuff accomplished. We're not making ourselves stay longer or whatever like that. So when you have to go, just say, hey, I have to go ahead and head out, and we'll probably close up at that point. But yeah, really just it's flexible. But it was really
Okay.
you have a good enough amount to give people enough time to work, especially if there are more people and more people talking. Then you want to make sure everybody has time to participate. It's only 3 of us, probably maybe one more person. So we don't need to worry as much about everybody getting the opportunity to share. So I'm trying to just type up a couple other brainstorming sections for some of the things we're going to be looking at. Real quick here, so we got this is going to be details. Oops, obstacle details.
And Lindsey, are you able to interact with the whiteboard that's up here?
I might be able to. Let's see. I'm viewing the whiteboard. Let's see.
Oh, I see you. There you are.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I should be able to. Awesome. Nice.
And so, yeah, I'm glad you, Josh, you had to send me additional characters. So we can put them in here and run the character stuff on that either during the session or in between. We can think about it and come in with stuff. But yes, that's the protagonist here, and then we'll just kind of add in just other characters, supporting characters, whatever it is.
So I take it Jay and Tara. Are we going with Tara or Tara?
Whichever one. She doesn't have a name.
But I take it those are the 2 leads right now.
Yeah, I just gave them names to Jay and Tara. I say Tara. That's how I talk, but that's just my accent done because
no worries.
The decision that I made.
And I think if when we do break the story a little bit more, we'd probably use some more Native American names.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
I like that they're young because like young kids are resilient and they're like sponges and they'll learn stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they'll like band together, and even if they don't like know what's coming, they'll attack it aggressively because they're limber and young.
And I was thinking it might be nice, like if story wise, if it isn't like a romantic relationship between Tara and Jay, like since Jay's younger, it could almost be like those dad ventures like The Mandalorian, and The Last of Us, where there's a parent figure and then a child figure, and that's the relationship they have. And especially with you saying that maybe Tara lost her baby, and so like Jay's like this kind of substitute for the kid, and she gets a chance to actually bring somebody up in some kind of a sense.
But I do like there being some kind of tension. They're close enough in age, like maybe they're 10 years apart or something, so that there is that relationship to some extent, but there's also tension because they're close enough that this, the relationship can fluctuate a little bit between that and between like brother and sister to some extent.
Yeah.
I think it definitely is like that's what you're saying, but just it's close enough that it's not 100% the way like The Last of Us is 100% father-daughter, right? Mandalorian, same thing. Like it's so far apart that in terms of maturity that it's clear who the authority is. Whereas this one, they're older. Tara's older. She knows a little bit more. She's definitely not more seasoned, but she isn't so much older that Jay's going to automatically defer to her in all circumstances. It's something where there's going to be a little more push and pull between them.
Yeah, I'm definitely pro that like either parent, child, brother, sister, platonic, and not romantic. I am pro that.
Yeah. So I have a couple things up here. I got season 1 events, which I think is the next thing we'll kind of focus on. But obstacle details, look at some of these obstacles, we're going to come up with more clear ones. and then also kind of ongoing storylines. That we kind of, what's the other one? Other heroes, just characters.
Question for Jay. Desire to feel accepted as part of the new tribe. Is that like the new tribe that they're seeking out and kind of creating together, or is Jay new to this tribe prior to the attack?
Yeah,
He's new to the tribe.
This tribe.
Him and his younger brother are kind of like refugees to the tribe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have that? Yeah.
Does he lose his brother in the attack?
Kidnapped.
That's one of the things we're thinking got kidnapped.
Great.
So let me do a text thing here. So one of the storylines is like when Cat's lost, or I say kidnapped, but it's kidnapped. Brother.
Have you guys gotten to the part in the courses where Phil is like, creating like the whiteboard and stuff like that, and he misspells urinal, and then just Michael Jamin's note on it, it's like, urinal, what the fuck, Phil? Because he spelt it like YERNAL or something.
Oh,
It's pretty
Phil.
great.
I'll remember that. That's pretty
I
fun.
love that. I'm a little bit newer, but yeah, I'm getting through it.
Yeah,
I've been writing
I
for
think
a
that-
long time.
I'm in
now.
the case studies, so yeah, I may or may not.
Like it's after the case studies, and I wish he
Oh,
would do
okay.
more of those,
Okay.
because it's like Phil is like pitching ideas, and they're like going through the whiteboard, figuring it out, and then he's breaking it down into like outlines and stuff, and I feel like that's a way better session than like the case studies. Those are great, but like I feel like the other ones are
Okay.
like
That's
a
cool.
way better example of how it's all done. And then Lindsey, I don't know if you know, like you can move around this screen. It's a pretty big screen. So like you might see Mike's name like roaming around at the top. It took me a while to be like, where's he writing at?
Oh, all good. Yeah, I'm kind of scrolling through what you guys have set for like special talents. I'm at the bottom now. The religion one I thought was a very interesting point because, like when it comes time for that, there's the difference between like their religious faith and then what's just part of their culture of these are our traditions and this is how we handle the situation.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Native American faith tradition, so be intentionally vague.
All good, all good.
Let's see. So one additional storyline, you might have seen the character Trader. There was someone in the tribe that survived, that's there, and there is one storyline is them kind of working behind the scenes and perhaps being discovered at some point. We're not sure about that yet, but that's additional kind of storyline is that there was a trader that helped the rival tribe successfully attack this one as successfully as they did.
Like a mole or a double agent?
Yeah, I guess they told them like, oh, this is the time of day where we're having maybe our shift change of who's on patrol, or then just come from this direction because they won't see you coming, stuff like that. Like they did things like that.
Yeah. So can we talk about like the attacking group? Like who is that?
We haven't talked at all really about who they are. There are different, I know, at least from an African standpoint, there are African tribes that have very different approaches to relationships between other tribes. And this particular one is one that is more aggressive and more about kind of ransacking and, taking, enslaving people and doing that stuff, whereas this tribe is not one of those. It's more of a one that's more agrarian and teaches hunting and such, but is not hostile and seeks out hostility that way. So it's kind of a contrast adversarial tribe. But beyond that, I didn't go into a ton of detail. Just that was general idea.
And I was just brainstorming some stuff and looking up different tribes because I was thinking this would take place like in the Great Plains. So like the tribe that Jay and his brother get into could be like the Cheyenne tribe. And then the aggressor tribe could be oh man, I lost it. The Comanches. Just to give that type of background to it, some semi-realistic reality to it.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm originally from Wisconsin, so these are all very familiar
Okay.
phrases that come up in our schools for sure. Yeah, I'd love to like figure out what like, so I get we have, we'll call them like the bad tribe that are seeking slaves or whatever. So the trader, for me, I'm thinking like, if they just want slaves, they'll just go get them. They don't need like a mole or an inside guy unless they're trying to be sly for some reason.
Mm.
And like that trader, is it actually one of them that is pretending to be a refugee, and that's how they sneak in with Jay and Jay's brother? They sneak in as refugees, and that's how they get in, because that'd be way easier than trying to take one of the existing good tribe members and trying to turn them.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're taking in refugees anyway, you're just like, we've never met you before, so we can only judge from this point forward, and we don't have an internet, so it's not like I can do a background check on you. Yeah, I think, and having that trader, it can be like having that inside guy, or that mole rather, can like set up failures on purpose. Like maybe the tribe is on route somewhere and he can flood the route somehow, or like he releases all the horses and now they have to go by foot, something along those lines. Like
And just keep it in mind, it's pre 1492, so there's no horses in America yet because it's like
That's a good point.
the Spanish.
I didn't
yeah,
think of
fair
that. I
point.
didn't think of that. That's
Fair
right.
point.
There's no horses yet.
But the isolated intentional chaos to set up for the attack, I think, is the role of the trader.
Yeah, a lot of sabotaging
Yeah,
beforehand.
sabotaging for sure. Because audiences, they love a secret. I guess that begs to question, like, so Josh, do you prefer Josh or Joshua?
It doesn't matter, either one.
Okay, cool. So do you have like an envision of what we would open on, or like how soon we would find out or get the point of view of the bad tribe versus the good tribe, or like when we were introduced them? I guess is my question. Like how would we open?
It would definitely be in the first episode. We were talking about like, we'd started off with introducing like a little bit of background about Jay, maybe his brother, and then we go over to Tara and just almost like a light day in the life of type of thing. And then maybe it's like later that night, that's when the raid happens. And then they're picking up the pieces the next day, and that's when those two are specifically like, we got to go save my brother, and she's like, we got to go seek revenge. We can't just stand around and wait for something good to happen. We got to go now. And they're battling with the other survivors on if they should leave now, or if things need to be tended to and fix their village first type of thing. And they're kind of like, no, forget that, we're out of here, let's go.
Yeah. And
They could even split at different times.
And how long has Jay been in this new camp as a refugee? Like, when did he get there?
It's taking a short period of time, like, because he still has like this like insecurity that like they're not going to accept him, and like I don't know. I was picturing a guy like him and his brother always like on their tippy toes, like just being super careful around everything.
Yeah,
like there's one.
Oh, God, sorry.
I was gonna say that
sorry.
like for pets, I was gonna like I had originally like Jay's got this stray fox that he feeds when he's not supposed to, and then I was thinking, what if we switched it to his brother? And so then Jay's always like, you can't do that, man. Like you understand, like they're at any moment going to throw us out of this community, and so like maybe that fox comes in and plays later on, kind of helping him get out when the raid happens type of thing. He's like trying to shoot away from the village or something. And
because I kind of love the idea of like, at least just for the first episode, intro, happy-go-lucky, this is Jay, this is Tara, this is like Jay's little brother. And we also introduce our mole as like, he was another refugee. We love him. We love this character. And he's like the tribe fool, and he's always sabotaging or like falling and klutz. And in reality, at the end of the episode reveal, boom, attack, he was the mole. And like, here we go. And that sets the tone for the rest of the season.
I was hoping to drag him out a little bit later. Like the whole time you just sympathize with him, and then like maybe like 4 episodes in you find out and you're like, oh, what the hell?
Oh, for sure. Like we can continue dragging that on and just like hold that secret as a reveal when we need it. But I love the idea of like planting and then having our audience think this is going to be a very fun show, and then it is not. I don't know why, but I kind of want to call them both Travis right now. I don't know why. This is a name that's coming to me. It's just saying Travis.
I like a mole name. No, what were we thinking for the name of the main tribe, the one that Tara's from and that the other people join that gets attacked?
I just had Cheyenne because that's a
Cheyenne,
tribe
okay.
in that
All right.
area.
Just trying to just placeholder for now, but just want to try to name stuff. So,
And then I was thinking Jay and his brother and the mole, they could be from the Arapaho.
The Arapaho tribe, did you find like the dark history on them, that they were more of an attacking tribe, or is that just a choice?
It was just a choice.
I'm just
Just
curious.
I've never heard of it before. Like you heard like Cheyenne and like Blackfoot, but I've never heard Arapaho before. So I was like, oh, that's a cool sounding name.
I can name you a bunch of Wisconsin cities and towns that are all named after tribes. Yeah, Waukesha, Milwaukee, Wauwatosa, Oconomowoc, Ixonia, Ojibwe, Kokani, Waukegan.
oh, Waukegan. It's like, no, is there a casino?
Yeah, and Waukegan's more in Illinois. I'm in the Chicago area now, so that's like right over the border.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a particular tribe that was maybe very, maybe, I don't know if I'll say nomadic or maybe more just agrarian, that would be a good one that you would see a lot of refugees from?
It's
maybe a smaller one. I don't know. I'm trying to
it's definitely something that I can reach out to some of my friends and ask, what's
Okay.
yeah. They would know better than I, but I'll reach out and ask.
say an aggressive Nazi tribe. Switching that up. Okay. So here's the thing. So what else? So we got events. We have, let me just create some other text boxes here.
Just because like thinking through the timeline of the first episode, introducing, our heroes and everything. Do we, I feel like we should introduce like the bad tribe and, give like why are they about to go attack, and then build up that suspension until it does happen.
Well, one thing I'll say is I don't want to get too much into an individual episode. Yeah, I was trying to just keep it at a level of what do we think we want to see. We can talk about individual stuff, but in terms of, I want to try to think about at more of a high level season-long story. Like, what story are we trying to tell for the whole season? Like, how far do we want? I mean, the big question is, where do we want to see Jay, and Tara get to by the end of the first season.
Got it. Okay,
Kind
that
of
makes
start
more
with that
sense.
and then kind of build and fill in once we have a goal in mind. And
Yeah,
I want to kind of do season events because we want to say, think about different things that are going to happen. Because like the raid base, the first episode, you're right, introduce characters. You're going to probably have the raid in the first episode. I gotta put that
yeah.
down here. And so the season one events are going to kind of be things we build parts of our whole episodes around.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Which,
Josh, do you have like a goal in mind already or not quite yet?
I didn't. It was mostly just like this kind of like when I initially thought of it, it was just going to be this like these two people just tearing through the countryside trying to find their missing people, and I kind of had it more of like a John Wick type of thing, but with Native Americans. But I kind of like what Mike introduced. Like they're these two people who can't really accomplish that type of stuff. They're on an adventure that's like way over their heads.
Got it.
Um, it's their passion and the goal of getting his brother back that's like pushing them forward.
For sure. Okay, cool.
one idea would be something like maybe a bear attacks one of them. Like I talked about Jay like not really being a good fight. I don't know if bear is the right kind of animal attack, but some kind of animal attack that occurs that they, just kind of think about what kind of stuff would happen to them. There's also like additional tribes. So the idea is as they're going through looking, they're going to perhaps interact with additional tribes and could have things occur that way, right?
It might it might be interesting to have like two animal attacks, one in an earlier episode, one later on, and seeing how they approach both situations, the start of their journey versus near the end of their
Sure.
journey.
Sure.
And we can involve maybe like a coyote or something.
Search this up.
We need a comedic relief scene. Turkeys are actually very vicious. I've had a couple of friends attacked by them.
Bye. So one thing we could do, well, there we go. Move this. These are too close. I gotta move these from the ground. Right now. One thing that we could do is stretch this out a little more. We can think about is kind of without going into too much detail, walk through what might happen throughout the season. So like we can put in like kind of some kind of introduction of characters. We do introduction of characters. Name character character introductions. Move this stuff down a little bit. And character introductions. We might have the bride. You want to introduce them, something that too. Introduce them. You introduce obviously the one thing you would probably introduce is the actual main tribe. Introduce all of them, of course, them and of course the characters will come with them and stuff like that. You kind of set the nominal situation. Then the raid occurs. And then there's kind of the aftermath, the raid. Read aftermath. Then I think we kind of decided, so the tribe decides not to aggressively retaliate, because if they did, then there'd be no need for our protagonist, because the whole tribe would be doing it. They say for whatever reason we have to come up with. They say we can't do that. Maybe too many of our warriors were killed, whatever it may be. But there's
Like a
some
time to heal and
time to heal, some kind of thing. And so tribe leadership, you know, sides. Term. Okay. Somehow the protagonists decide to themselves. And that's, there's a lot of complication to that, because to figure out why do they do it. We kind of have reasons for that. One of them, the kidnapped little brother, her avenging her husband who dies in an attack. So we have a basic reason, but why do they choose each other? And why did they kind of go out, or at least kind of somehow, maybe they both go out separately and they meet up once they're out. Maybe that's the attack is Jay is attacked and she rescues him. So we see maybe from his perspective him leave, and then he gets attacked, and then she shows up. And we didn't even know that she chose to come with him too. Something like that, whatever. But that would probably be, I'm thinking, I'm gonna go on the episode ideas. That probably would be the second. The second episode would somehow be them, will be the decision. I'll probably just call it the decision, but the decision for them to try not to do it and for them to take that action. It probably sets the rest of the series going. Would probably be the second episode. We put that here.
Here's an idea.
All
What
right.
if Jay was also kidnapped, but he was able to escape, and Tara comes across him on her journeys. So they're separate at first, and then they meet up accidentally.
That's possible too.
yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah. The typing to do here.
Because I'm just thinking, like, if I saw my brother being kidnapped, I would chase after it, trying to save him. Might get scooped up in the process myself, and then we'll see which one of us can fight out.
Yeah.
We can have them meet up during an animal attack. She sees the animal attacking somebody, she doesn't know who, saves him, and boom, it's him.
Mhm.
Or maybe that's also how he escapes. Like whoever's got him, they're getting attacked, and it's kind of like his way out.
Yeah, me the animal for sure. And that might provide even more motivation for Jay, because not only is he trying to save his brother, I imagine there are others that are kidnapped. So he's trying to get help to save everyone.
Yeah.
And that can cause tension with Tara, depending on what definitely her motivation is saving her husband. But is she a selfish person? Like, she just wants him and then to go become refugees for a different
We're
tribe?
playing it that the husband's dead.
Yeah, we're
Oh, the
playing that
husband's
he's
dead.
dead. He's
Oh,
back
okay, the
at
husband's
the
dead.
place. She's going out to just go find him and kill him. She doesn't. Her start is a selfish one. It's, I want to go find him and kill him. She doesn't care about hostages. That's not her primary motivation. She might say, "Oh, I want to rescue him too." Some people, but I don't even know if we do that. Might just say that's what she's about. That's what she
Yeah.
worried about. And yeah, but then Jay is kind of the more, he's going to talk about generally, but obviously, saving the hostages or the people that have been taken. But the main focus of him is the brother. Is his brother.
Yeah, Jay definitely gives off that we not me energy. And Tara, she probably hasn't even thought about like after I get my revenge. She's
Yeah.
probably not, she hasn't thought that far. Okay, cool. Do they maybe along their travels they come across another tribe that's been attacked by the same people?
That's kind of like what I'd hope too. Like that's how they, like, if they lost the trail, that's how they find it, is they run across another group that's points them in the right direction in a sense.
Yeah, that might be good mid-season when we're nearing that like all is lost. And then that leads us to like the three-force conflict of, all right, we see them, we need to make a plan, and she has one objective and he has a different.
Yeah. So I think before they even get to this point, we want to probably put some more stuff in here. So like some stuff with tracking or something where they're trying to follow them. And perhaps even
Keeping in mind that they're not that good at it, type of thing.
exactly. So they're trying to track.
Yeah, I think there's going to be moments where they can each teach each other a skill and then they both fail at different skills together as well. And then give them like one glory moment where they're both like, we know this.
Yeah, that's why I think we like in Jay, he's terrible at throwing like weapons. So we were trying to make it so that like that could be like something comical as well.
Absolutely. You can always have like a target practice scene. We could also play with how starvation and dehydration can, you can hallucinate stuff and it can really mess with your mind a little bit and body, of course. But that might be an interesting episode.
Okay.
Because they're going to be exerting all this energy, walking, tracking, and I'm sure food is scarce.
That thought and just throw this over here.
And maybe while they're dehydrated, maybe they eat some bad mushrooms.
Yes, I was just thinking that. I find if I can find dark comedy in it, I put it in it. That's like I said, I'm a comedy writer. Oh, and they always have the pipe of herbs too. That's always a fun one. That could be in like the pilot.
Type of silver one.
That just makes me think of do you remember Seth MacFarlane's live action Thousand Ways to Die film?
Yeah, I remember that. No?
Yeah, there's a scene where he meets up with the tribe and they have the smokable and they also have it's ayahuasca or something along those lines, and he
Yeah,
has
something
way
like that.
too much. That's a fun scene in itself.
Yeah.
And they could save mushrooms to help like use to poison their attackers as well. That's always fun, but it's
Mhm.
timeline if it would work, but just an idea.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just put that over here.
And maybe at one point they do rescue the remaining community. But Tara's at this point where she's like, she still wants to pursue the Comanches, or what is it? What am I saying?
Yeah, conscious.
Comanches.
Yeah.
And but Jay is like, that's not the goal. Let's go back. We got everybody. And
Right.
maybe at that point they could split.
And I definitely think that having their
Kind of like a
difference of
season
goals.
Bobby runs away.
Yes.
And then maybe later has a change of heart and comes back to help her.
Yeah. That's make a general ideas one here. Maybe the other one too. Do that. Get up here. Verbs to resume. What's I about to say? So, that was one thing I was thinking is that we would have different, like that once they kidnap the people, enslave some of the people, they would go different places. And so you could have several different points in which they go and rescue people. It wouldn't like be an all or nothing, like giant things, only two of them. So that wouldn't really make much sense anyway. But there's like they go and they find one person here or two people there. So that way you can kind of see them having some modicum of success, but not completely.
My question is, when would they learn that? Like, is that something that the other tribe would teach them, or is that something that they discover after finding one group of kidnapped tribe members?
I would think
Maybe a
that.
little bit of both.
Oh, go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say maybe a little bit of both.
Because yeah, they can, you know, when the other tribe is leading them and telling them where they come from, you know, then that also will give Jay and Tara the decision of, well, do we split up or do we pursue one path, get people, and then go to another path?
I'm kind of thinking now, if let's say they rescue somebody, that person's probably going to be not in great shape and probably go back. And
Yeah.
so they go back, and because one thing I mentioned, I put it here, I didn't mention to you all yet, is if we're going to have the ongoing kind of traitor / mole storyline, we want to that's a kind of, I mentioned, it's called palace intrigue, where there's politics going on back at the tribe and the mole might be involved in it, maybe in a way that we can't see, so that it doesn't become obvious, because that was, if it's one person that's always against them helping anything, everybody's gonna know that person's bad. You know, you can't do that. You got to be clever, more clever than that. But somehow, but if they're rescuing people, you know, one at a time, bringing them back, when they come back, oh, everybody's happy about them, and so maybe we should help them more, and you know, it's kind of, you get that stuff kind of going on, and the mole trader storyline could kind of weave into that somehow. I'm not sure quite how, but I'm thinking if they're rescuing anybody, they got to take them back, or at least take them back part of the way, even though all the way back, you know. So
Maybe even to that second tribe, and the second tribe becomes like reoccurring characters.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
But I think what Mike is saying though is like you're saying with the mole still being with the Cheyenne tribe, um, when that person returns, it's kind of helping to like unravel that they're a mole. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's kind of the idea is there's this there's an ongoing storyline. So every episode you kind of have, I'm thinking you kind of have their adventuring out and looking for the Comanche and the people that were kidnapped. And then also they're looking for but then also back at home, there's this about what's going on there and trying to somebody trying to piece together, maybe a third character that's trying to piece together what happened, and how, because the idea is
Yeah,
that
there's hints of sabotage.
yeah, sabotage or the Comanche are known. They're not like, oh, I've never heard of them. They know they're around, so you have things you do to watch out for them, to be ready for them. Those things failed, and why did they? What happened there. So you would have, and so there'd be this intrigue about what happened there to cause that to happen. I'm thinking that's what I call palace intrigue. It's some I mean, add a little bit to that, but that's the idea there that you got.
Here's a question. Does anyone in the second tribe recognize the mole as an attacker?
They might possibly, that might be something that happens later on where, as I said,
Yeah.
I think several times over the course of the episode, people are rescued, and maybe one of the last ones before maybe the final end of the season, they actually recognize, oh, that person actually was in my tribe. So they were not from the third tribe. We thought they were them. They were thought to be a refugee from there, or maybe they were, but they knew there's some connection to the Comanche they didn't know about, and um, maybe they, you know,
Because
maybe
like the third tribe could be getting like bad vibes from this guy, or like we recognize him, don't trust him. And
yeah,
Jay and Tara, like, y'all are paranoid. He's proven that we can trust him. He may be a klutz, but we trust him. And then further down the line, they realize for themselves, you are a mole. And why didn't we listen to them? Or even just holding on to that until they get cornered, and then that's probably towards either the season finale or one or two episodes prior to that,
right.
revealing. I think holding on to that mole secret as long as we can is a good idea.
Yeah.
But
So
I like the idea of the third tribe raising suspicion of him.
And just so I'm following, who's the like who would be the third tribe? Is it just one of the tribes they come along, Jay and Tarek find along the
Yeah.
adventure?
on the way, yeah,
Okay.
on the way.
Yeah, another tribe that was also attacked. Yeah. Yeah, maybe the other tribe that was attacked, instead of them going out to venture out, they decided to just pick up the pieces and rebuild. And that's why they're still there. I'm curious if like we want this to be a limited series or if we want to leave it as a cliffhanger.
Do like a literal cliffhanger,
Yeah,
like Jay's hanging onto the side of a mountain.
yeah, I'm into that. Because like other cliffhanger ideas is that the mole was leading them to their deaths all along, and then they get kidnapped as well, and they're captured, and that's the season finale.
Oh, Jay and Tara, and then that kicks
Yeah,
off season 2.
yeah. Or one of them gets captured and the other either is let free, breaks free, fights free, whatever the case is.
Could flip it, and it's like Jay has to rescue Tara this time.
Yeah. Because like they're fighting with the no, we got them, we can go home. No, they're not all dead yet. Split, she gets captured. Oh, we were headed home. No, we got to go back for her.
Yeah.
Because she split away by herself to continue her serial killer rampage.
One thing I added here was one episode or one part of an episode could be the protagonist find a tribe member that already been sold to a third tribe, and they need to now like negotiate a rescue or somehow get them back without violence, because this wouldn't be the first one. This would be like the second or third one where it's like, oh, now we got to try to use different skills than learn. Like maybe early on in the series they're focused on, okay, we got to learn how to kill, you know. And that can be kind of a thing. It's like, okay, because Jay is that actually, let me put that over here on general ideas. Tara teaching Jay how to fight, kind of, or fight better. I don't know. Let me see. Better.
Does she need to teach him more than just fighting, like how to hunt too?
Well, I'll make a separate line for that.
Oh, okay.
They have to improve work on their survival skills too.
Survival skills in general. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I would love for there to be a moment where he teaches her something.
Yeah, we had something about, was it swimming or something? We had something that goes the other way, but that's where
Okay, cool.
doesn't.
Yeah, like maybe on an episode when we're focusing on their dehydration and starvation, the ending of that episode is act 3 is they come upon a river, maybe.
Fall in and go down river a little bit.
Yeah, that river can take them somewhere, and then the episode can end with them going down river, and the next episode opens with them still in the river.
Yeah, maybe they need to swim to do something.
Yeah. Ooh, do we have a dangerous waterfall scene?
Not yet.
It's like one scary thing ends and another scary thing starts. We were going down river. Now we're going over a waterfall. Now there's a bear at the bottom of the waterfall.
What movie we had Native Americans in I wanted to see, I didn't get a chance to see, was the one where the Native Americans fight a predator. It's supposed to be kind of good. I didn't get to see. I was on like, it's a Hulu or something. It was some weird streamer. I'm like, I don't have this.
Which one
Yeah,
is
I haven't
it?
seen it either.
Yeah, it was a one. Maybe it's actually on Amazon. It was the one where it was a Predator sequel, but it takes place in like, I don't know, 1300s or something. I don't know, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so it's Native Americans fighting a predator.
Interesting.
Yeah, I heard it's actually kind of good. It was different, very different. It was kind of good.
I just watched it's kind of it's basically an apocalyptic one. It's Class of '07 on Amazon Prime, and it's an Australian one, and it's about this all girls private school having a 10-year reunion. Their school is on top of a mountain, and then an apocalyptic flood occurs, and they are all stuck at the top of the mountain.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it.
Like what
Class of 07?
Class of '07.
Class of 07. So what kind of movie is it? So it's like this happens, and what's the conflict, the type of conflict? I'm doing detail, but it's the type of conflict that they're going, is it interpersonal, or is it wrestling with the fate, or what what's going on there?
So it's a series, and it's none of the girls like each other, or like they have cliques among them, and then also like it's one person's fault that they're stuck there, and then there's the whole food issue, and then there's another girl that she's like the weakling of the group. So in the first episode, sorry for spoiler, they, while she's asleep, set her out to sea, and then that comes back to bite them in a different episode. Yeah, it's gnarly, and I'm really excited for season 2.
Class of 07. Okay.
Class of '07.
Okay.
And it's an all-female cast, which I'm always all for. So
sure. I might I have a daughter. We might just try one episode and just see how we like it. Just for fun, just to try it out. That's a trip. That's the one thing that's kind of cool. That's the coolest thing I think about streaming, is the fact that there's all these movies from other countries that you have the opportunity to see sometimes now. Like there's like a lot of Japanese and Chinese sci-fi now. It's on like Netflix.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And then I saw some drama that was like, it was almost like Assault on Precinct 13, you know, that classic Carpenter movie. They remade it too with Ethan Hawke. But there's something like that, but it was not the same story. It's a different story, but it's the same kind of style. But it was like a Swedish movie. It was really good, and it was like all dubbed. So like it's all these, and it's funny because like the dialogue is, the dubbing is just okay. But it's a really good like action movie. It was Swedish. Like it never would come out here. But I just
Right
have
on.
Netflix recommended it like 2-3 years, a while ago. It was like during the pandemic. I was like, I'll watch it because this is before Netflix had a ton of stuff. And so I just saw this thing. I can't remember the name of it. I saw it. I was like, dang, it's a trip. It's actually really good. I started watching
Nice.
this as a lark, and it was just like, and but yeah, that's the thing is we just all this cool stuff is coming all around the world. Oh wow, I think we both wrote the same thing. Dangerous Wonderful Going Twice. Oh yeah, I know what it was. I was copying to write something else. That's what it was. But yeah. So I was gonna say,
I think I got about like 5 more minutes till I gotta get going back to work. But
okay. So yeah,
yeah.
I mean, one thing I realized is actually a pretty good idea here is just, having a list of things that could happen during episodes and elements. And I might move some of the season 1 events over to just general ideas, or because that's kind of things you could fit into their episode and combine like the learning how to swim, or the learning how to survive with another thing. And
Yeah.
uh, and try to like kind of go to a high more, because I did a season 1 events, it's kind of a high level one, so it's more of not as much all the individual things. So maybe move some of this stuff over in a few minutes after you go. But yeah, so it looks like we have at a high level, what I'm seeing is we have kind of the first episode's raid. The second one is kind of what happens at like the aftermath, including Tara eventually deciding to go out. If dude is kidnapped, he escapes because of a bear attack. We do that, then that's all part of episode 2. And 3 is them on their own doing, trying to just kind of track and just trying to do stuff and maybe not being very good at it, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We have episode 4, or pretty soon after, with some mid point where they reach another tribe that's also been attacked. That's some kind of complicating factor. Still we gotta work on what really that is, but there's some third tribe that's kind of introduced. And then we have during this, before and after that, we're looking at rescuing perhaps 1 or 2 people from different situations. The other person is sold, maybe another person just is being held at some kind of Comanche outpost, and they do those things. Like their first successful raid would be a thing where it's very difficult, and then later on they might do another one that's more successful, the non-violent one, and then we have a final episode that is maybe some turning point where they find, like you talk about, they find maybe all of the rest of the hostages, except, or maybe even including his brother. And so then it's a point of where, okay, Tara's like, I'm keep on going. And Jay has to decide, do I go with her or do I just go back? Or something like that. There can be some kind of cliffhanger. But I think that's kind of where, and I'll write this stuff because I won't have them yet, but I'll put these in here. But that's what I'm seeing we got so far here.
Yeah, I like it. Are they gonna find each other before they find that third tribe? Like we have the individual and then okay, yeah. I
The
think that
dynamic
makes
is together, so I don't really want them to be apart for more than like 1 or 1.5 episodes. I don't want to be a ton of them kind of separate.
yeah. I think 1 episode solo is really interesting to, especially in the beginning, to really get to know them one-on-one, and then we get to meet them as a unit for the rest of the season.
Yeah. So yeah, if you don't have anything else that you want to add at this point, I think you can go ahead and go. And I'm probably gonna we're going a little longer, so I can just write up kind of what we talked about the rest of the episode, just the basic framework there, maybe move a few of these things, and then we'll probably call it a wrap for today.
Cool beans. Thanks for having me, guys.
Glad you got
Nice
here.
meeting you.
Nice to meet you
Good meeting
too.
Good meeting you.
All right. See you guys soon. Bye.
All right, see you soon. All right,
Bye.
bye-bye. Let's see here. So I'm just gonna do basic names of these. So episode 3, surviving the woods, survival. Episode 4, their first rescue. second. You can try. I don't know what that story would be, but that's the idea. So 6, non-violent rescue. Ooh. Yeah, I was thinking about doing a post for in the Facebook group, basically saying like you know, that the service they're offering. You hear about their announcement about the service they're offering to like have people do, you know, reads
The
of people.
readings.
I basically say, okay, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it because like, what do I know? But my thing would be, if you were to do that, I would only do that if you've gone through the entire process. You've done several passes for dialogue and structure and description and everything. That you're at the point where you're ready to
Because it's like
intelligently ready.
$1,700.
Exactly. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
to me, it's like, okay, I can see doing that by itself. I'm like, I think this is ready based on everything I've learned from Michael, from everybody else. I think this is ready to be, and this could be sold. Then I would do it. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
would, because there's no
I'd have
point.
other people in the group read it, do some like
Exactly.
script
Like,
swaps first.
yeah.
Because
No.
otherwise it might just be embarrassing. You just wasted $1,700.
Yeah, that's my thing is like if they send it back and just like, there's no conflict, you wasted money, right?
Yeah.
It should be the stuff they should be finding is advanced stuff that people like us will find. Because in our group, people will exchange scripts and do stuff like that. It just is not, you know, needed. You know, it's money is needed to be exchanged. If you're doing that, it means you're giving me something other people can't give me, and
Yeah.
you're not going to get that unless you've covered all your bases already. That you've gone to the limit of your expertise in working on it. And I can be honest with myself, I've never written a script to the point where I feel like it's the limit of my expertise. My thing is I get new ideas and stuff comes up, and I have a daughter, and you know, it's a new job and all that kind of stuff, and it's hard for me to kind of lock in. And it's like Michael said, one thing I really appreciate he said is sometimes if your idea wasn't good enough, that's why you lose interest in it. And one thing that appeals to me about this process is you break the story to the point where you're happy with it before you ever even start writing the screenplay. I have a good story. This is worth telling. This is good. If I tell somebody it just verbally, it, you know, will light their eyes up. Then you know you've got a story. Before that, it's just you're just taking time. You can get better at writing. You know, I've written several screenplays and helped me better write screenplay in the structure of screenplays, but it doesn't make a good story. What makes a good story is nothing to do with format. It's nothing to do with, you know, being able to know the indentation structure of a screenplay. It's something that you can just tell to somebody, and either it's engaging to them or it's not. And if you have that, then that'll help drive you make the screenplay, the delivery product, as good as it can be. If you don't, then you lose interest. You know, so that's one of the biggest takeaways. Is just because I was always the person to just start writing a screenplay. Yeah, I've been doing it on and off for 20 years. I just start and I'll just spend a month, 2 months, just write a screenplay, and I'm sure they're okay. I have self copies of all of them, but I don't think any of the stories is particularly. One of them I almost want to re-break and see if I can make it into something really good. But there's other ones where I just want to challenge myself to write one in 21 days. So I did, and it was 90 pages long, but I think it was a good story. A good idea, but that's not a story, you know. So anyway, so I'm just rambling now. So in the nonviolent rescue, then we have a second rescue, like a second, the second more dangerous rescue. Oh, I got an
And
idea.
is that going to be the one where he actually gets his brother?
Perhaps that might be. I'm not sure, but that's going to be the one that's like it applies a whole bunch of the skills like from the season, but it's much harder and shows their growth and
Yeah.
ability from early on. So early on, the first rescue is relatively easy. You know, it's like a video game. You make the early parts easier. We're making the early part easier for them. Then later on, they've learned more skills and they've got to apply the skills they've learned to do it again. And then you get the last, oh, and what was I about to say? I had an idea. So, oh, one thing is at the same time, maybe there are people, maybe there's intelligence, maybe there is help getting intel on Comanche locations from their home tribe and or second victim tribe. Maybe it helps because, as I said, other stuff is going on. Like these are like the A stories, but there's also going to be like kind of B stories. And I hate that. Why won't it let me fix the spelling? That's so weird. It tells me this is misspelled. I was like, okay, well, how's this? I right click on it to, it doesn't do anything. But I guess it's nice to tell me I spelled it wrong, but you offer me some options here because usually I just mistype one letter, like location with no I. Anyway, and then the eighth episode, like the is everybody's okay. Okay. Rescue done. Rescues are done.
Separate ways.
Separate ways. Question mark, separate ways. Of course, I spell separate wrong, so I always misspell separate. I always do. My brain is locked into two E's. Separate. Separate. Okay. I was like, or, yeah. What was that other one? It was something else I was thinking a minute ago. Maybe it was just the intel thing. It was just how, how the secondary story is going to kind of work there. Like what's.
The secondary, we should totally kind of hint at it in the first episode.
Oh, of course.
We just bounce back and forth.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's like it's kind of like you want to get the framework of the first ones first, but yeah, it should be running through the whole thing. Like there should be stuff about what's going on back at home and when was the secondary tribe, perhaps that too at the same time. So definitely. I'm just trying to give us a little structure and then we can keep adding to them, no, definitely. Let me just. In the first episode. Try. Here's the thing. So one thing that's great about this is we're not actually writing this whole series. We're writing one episode. And I kind of think what would probably be most helpful for us is to actually write the first episode. I wasn't necessarily going to say do that, but I think because what happens is I think that would give us, we could sit there and focus, not to worry too much about plotting a whole bunch, because if you do anything in the middle, you have to really plot into a lot of detail the whole series. And I
Yeah.
think if we start with the first episode, then basically we can focus on this stuff, introducing the home tribe, the Comanche tribe, the two protagonists, the other kind of characters that are hinted at or explicitly done in here. We can talk more about that. Like her husband, he's going to be obviously alive during that episode. Although I think a child had already died. I think that was like something they were bonded by that, so it made them really close. By the baby stillborn, whatever happened there. And then the episode, and then the episode with Raid, and then the different parts of it, and them fighting, and then I'm thinking it ends with Tara finding his dead body, and that's the end of the episode. Her husband. And that way we don't have to worry about a lot of the. Well, and then we can set up all the stuff we have set up for the characters. So whether or not the character can't swim, we can hint at all that stuff. So we have to do a lot to work with here to build an opening episode. I think the next step for this would be then to go. Can I do Control Z? There we go. Great. Wrong button. Wrong button. Go over here. I would just say tribe leader because I think it's you can tribe leader. We can also do the what is it, Tara's husband, that in there. I think we probably want the Comanche have a leader. I think somebody that is like that. I think that'd be a character we would have, right?
Oh, that's what this one was.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I thought you meant the home tribe leader. Okay. Oh, okay. Comanche tribe. Oh, okay, got you. That's why I misunderstood that. Okay. Okay. So you do want the home one too. You want the Cheyenne.
Maybe we'll call him the elder just to help us.
Sure. Cheyenne elder. Sure. Leader. I see. Anybody else off the top of my head that would be here? Not as a second level character. I think there's other third level characters like other Comanche, other Cheyenne. But I think those are probably your second level. And honestly, even the Cheyenne Elder is probably like relatively minor. He probably becomes bigger later on. He would become bigger later on, but he wouldn't be a huge thing in the first episode. You would just see him, and he'd be someone you would some see introducing him. But that's about it. Well, yeah, I mean we'll leave that open spots in case we think of anything else. That's good. We have 2 more open spots. But yeah, I think that's that. And then so we do. Okay, so I'm gonna move. Let me see here. So let me move these things up here. So I'm gonna try that here. I'm gonna move the episode kind of structure and move that up to the next level up. So move this. Oops, wrong button. This way. Move this up here. That. So the storylines, umbrella, obstacle, additional characters, season events, idea, and then put this. I'm going to move this up. That there. And then down here we can put. Oh yeah. So that's our like template. Oh, you know what? I think let's make that bigger. That's our template. That's right. That's our template. Well, you know what I'll say? I'll say we have the template above. I'm gonna copy it and just take the which colors out. So I'm gonna copy it. widen this a little bit. Bigger letters too.
I see what you're doing.
Oops, that's tough. I didn't make it any bigger. There you go. There we go. All right. Oh, maybe do this just to make me feel better. So, oh, it's not close enough. All right, here we go. All right, I think what we can talk about for next week is trying to fill that out with some stuff and come up with kind of like pivotal moments. So let me see. Let's see here. So yeah, we have up here. So we kind of have up here in the general ideas what we want to kind of different things we want to establish. We want to establish each protagonist, establish each tribe, and then set in motion the raid. And the raid might be the kind of thing that is almost maybe hinted at through the whole thing, but so you kind of have those, I guess, 5 pieces to then break up into moments in the first episode to kind of crystallize them. So, you know, I think that would be the next step for us. Interesting thing though is like coming up with, and I think we can wait till next week, but kind of the episode, and this is the I think the hardest part of this. Now that we've done all this, the hardest part is there has to be a problem that the episode presents, but and kind of pretends to be working through resolving, that ultimately doesn't really matter that much because the raid kind of sets everything figuratively ablaze. But there has to be a dramatic push through the episode, even though what we're really doing is just laying a whole episode laying pipe for the series. But even though it's doing that, there has to be like, you know, there has to be the story that's we think that the viewer thinks is being resolved through the episode. Like he says in Mysteries, where it's pretending to tell you one story, but it's really telling you a different one. It's kind of like this first episode has to kind of be like that. To pretend is telling you a story that's kind of like the day in the life, like a day in the life of these tribe and the minor issues and concerns the tribe has. But really, it's about showing you a day in the life before the whole thing gets torn apart. You know?
Yeah.
That's something to think about. There's going to be hints about the raid, but I want it to just be that. Because I've seen episodes that just do that, where their first episode, because they know they're just sitting, they're just working up to an inciting event. So the whole episode is just a bunch of people talking or whatever, but there's no story. There's no goal, no antagonist, and so it's dull. And then the rest of the series can be good, but that first episode isn't good because there's nothing much is happening. So I think that's the biggest task for next week. And then besides that, building something that does the stuff we wanted to do, that does the character introductions we want to do, that interacts and sets everything in motion. I think that the raid, I think for the most part of the attack will be kind of Deus Ex Machina, just happens at the end. It'll be hinted at, but then it just kind of occurs. at the end. Maybe he'll talk about it, about, the dangers that they heard about another tribe that's happened to, stuff like that. But that's all we get is hints and foreshadowing, and then it happens. Meanwhile, we're watching a different story, like the days of the Cheyenne lives, and some kind of drama to keep us interested. All right. So cool beans. Let me see. I'll save a copy of this. Save a copy. Oh, that same message twice. Where was that thing? Where's the button?
Mine was the little hamburgers by my name. I don't know what it looks like on your screen.
Oh yeah, export. You're right. It's called hamburger.
And there's an export.
Hamburger. That was very good. Yeah, the hamburger. So yeah. Yeah, the PNG actually was more useful. Yeah, it automatically puts it in that goofy folder.
Yeah, same here.
So I'll take that and we'll move it now to where I want to put stuff, because I show a copy.
That's my old one. Where's my new one?
Projects. Yeah, mock radish, there it is. Second meeting. There we go. And we'll call it good for today. Now,
Appreciate it, Mike.
yeah, thanks for coming, and I'll see you next week.
All right,
I'll
take care.
post something up on Facebook in a few days. With
Okay,
sounds good.
cool, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Talk to you later. All right, bye.
All right, bye.